Democrats aim to reach an agreement on the framework for President Biden's economic agenda by the end of the week. But what was once a $3.5 trillion bill is being whittled down more and more by the day. In a flurry of meetings yesterday with Democrats at the White House, Biden reportedly told progressives the spending package will fall between $1.75 trillion to $1.9 trillion, according to the Washington Post. In order to appease moderates, Biden detailed that there will be steep cuts to home care funding for senior citizens and disabled Americans, going from $400 billion down to $250 billion. The expanded child tax credit, which progressives and the White House had high hopes to fund through 2025, will now only receive funding for one additional year. Democrats will also have to abandon the bulk of their climate agenda, the Clean Electricity Program, and plans for tuition-free community college. This comes at the precise moment that HBCUs and Hispanic-serving colleges will be forced to compete for the same $2 billion in funding in the most recent iteration of the plan laid out by the House, rather than the initial $20 billion pledged. By the time Democrats hold their vote, Biden's Build Back Better agenda will be significantly slimmer than the promises originally made. Joining me now is Melanie Campbell, President and CEO of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation, and human rights activist Bree Newsome. Melanie, I just want to get your initial reactions on, the outlines of the bill coming out and all of the cuts that Biden is basically informing the rank and file, or they're going to have to swallow.
Thank you for the invitation again. It's really good to be here with you tonight. I would say it's frustrating, right? To be honest and transparent about it. I know that we're not going to get all that we want in the bill, but we need to get these two bills passed, right? I believe when it comes to economic security and really dealing with economic justice issues in this country. So one of the things that we have been really pushing when it comes to the Build Back Better, to be realistic about where we are in this country. If we don't have childcare, one of the core components to help people with childcare, one of the core reasons people can't go back to work is they don't have the ability to deal with childcare. And a lot of that was the impact of COVID, and which we're still in. And so I think what's challenging is that we did so much to, I'm nonpartisan, but just as a fact, African Americans turned out, Black women turned out in record numbers, and we're just not seeing that return on investment just yet. And so we are really challenging the administration as well as the Congress, the folks that we helped elect, to really go after that filibuster, because whatever happens, I do still believe that we're not going to get the kind of transformative legislation passed without it. But they need to pass the Build Back Better Act as well as the Infrastructure Act. And we're going to keep pushing. I'm going back on Capitol Hill tomorrow to really push for issues with dealing with childcare as one of the things that we think needs to stay in the bill, with Moms Rising tomorrow. Just left the Hill today. So we're going to keep going back. Unfortunately, right. We have to keep going back and take it to the streets.
Bree, many of these concessions, if not all of these concessions, are being made for one senator, Senator Joe Manchin. It looks like the bill could basically be cut in half. The funding for it could be cut in half. What is your feeling about Manchin being in the driver's seat on this bill and demanding that it be so much smaller than it originally was planned to be?
Well, I mean, one thing I know, first of all, thank you for having me on, and thank you, Melanie, for what you are doing up on Capitol Hill. I mean, to the point that Melanie just raised, we were told to turn out in record numbers, which we did, on the promise that Biden could uniquely bring people together. We were told that he was the one that could get Republicans on board. And what we're seeing is the struggle to even get Democrats united. I am really concerned that there is nothing transformative about this, but rather we are seeing the same pattern repeated that we've seen before, where Black Americans are called on to save the country. You know, we're praised for saving the country, saving the democracy, and yet we are the ones who are also then called on to sacrifice our needs, our lives, and our priorities. I think it's important to point out in all this discussion over how much this costs, this is less than we spent on Trump's tax cuts. So in addition to the enormous wealth transfer that has happened during the pandemic period, this is not even making up for the money that we lost in the tax cuts to the wealthiest. So there is no real addressing of systemic racism. Everything that would address wealth inequality, everything that would address racial inequality, that's what always ends up on the cutting room floor. And I want to point out, too, that this is not simply a matter of politics. It's not about what plays well in the election. This is about our lives. This is about infrastructure. This is about a reality of science and time and math when we're talking about things like climate change. So whatever the opinion of Senator Manchin is, that has to be weighed against the fact that you're talking about people dying potentially. We just had an incident a couple of months ago where people drowned in their homes because of the crumbling infrastructure. So whatever has to be done to pull people together and have a come to Jesus moment, they need to do it. But to continually tell us that, well, you know, we can't do it because people don't agree on the filibuster or they don't agree on that is not acceptable. The only other option is to simply say we're not going to attempt to have not just multiracial democracy, but any kind of democracy, because these are policies that not only are critical and that we need them, but the majority of people want these things. So they can't just be canceled out on the whims of a single senator.
Melanie, yesterday, Biden also signed an executive order establishing 2 new commissions to improve education for Black students. The goal was to raise awareness around challenges for Black students and increase Black children's access to high-quality early childhood programs. But this comes like one day before he also then goes in and says that we're going to ditch free community college, and the size of the pool of money for HBCUs is going from $2 billion down, from $20 billion down to $2 billion, and now you have to fight it out with Hispanic community serving colleges. You know, what do you make of the White House's strategy around these issues? You know, those presidential orders just seem like window dressing to make people happy as they do the slashing.
Well, I think one of the things I think the White House has to do more, and that is they have to get out here. This is not the norm as far as thinking that whatever politics worked in the past will work now. And so that means you got to get out there and you got to campaign hard for what you say you believe in. Now, I'm not saying that's going to be simple, because you also can do the math about the fact that you only have a 50-50, margin. And unless you change the rules. I also know we have they have a couple of folks that are challenging, Manchin being one of them, Sinema being the other senators. But at the end of the day, the people have to also challenge. We need folks in those states to really challenge these folks. And we continue to have to challenge the White House. But they're going to have to get out here and campaign harder than even they're doing. And the core for me and for our organization and the coalition that we're working hard with is that we are saying you're not going to, whatever happens, it won't last long if we don't have voting rights, Charles. And so that's the core critical component that they should really be pushing hard on. And I don't think they're doing enough. And again, we know that it's a narrow margins and all the things that go with politics, but you're going to have to get some things critically done, or our democracy that we see is already eroding. It will just continue to erode. And for Black and brown people, especially Black people in this country, we have always had to fight for our rights. And we will come on the short end of that stick. So we have no choice but to fight. We also have no choice but to win.
Great. I think we're running out of time here. Melanie Campbell, I want to thank you so much for your time. Bree, you stay right there. We want to get your take on our next story.